Hotepu. God is androgynous. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first we must define God and the word androgynous. In Black Egypt, called Kemet, the word for God is neter. Neter. The word nature, neutral, and eternal all have their root in this ancient word, neter. The key word of neutral is the crux of this conversation tonight. Neter means the neutral one. But what does neutral mean? Neutral means nothingness. It has no charge, no valence. It is invisible. We define the word neter, also called Hapiur, the great androgen, as the neutral one. You know this in your life as space. We live and move in space. All things exist in the neutrality of space. Space allows all things the possibility of being. So one could say that neter means possibility. That to be so-called godly, the word God is a Western word. We would say neterly. To be like neter means to live your life in its possibilities, not in its limits. You see, neter is unlimited, is eternal, infinite. Translation: possibilities are eternal, infinite, unlimited. So to be a gay shaman, to be a gay spiritual person, means you live in neter. You live in the possibilities of your being, the possibilities of your day, the possibilities of your work, of your relationships, of your being. And because it is neutral, you can do that. You're not bound by any limit, by any box. So in a sense, because neter, or the Supreme Being, is neutral, is androgynous, it can assume any drag. It can take on any outfit, any costume, any wig is possible. If you believe you are your past, you are your issues, you are your money, you are your job, these are all boxes. If you believe you are your gender, you are your race, and that's your definition of who you are. These are all boxes. These are not who you are. These are things that you have, not things that you are. Being is ontological. Having is temporary. It comes and goes. But being is permanent. And your being is the field of what's possible within your pattern, within your fractal. So, when you are neutral, when you are neter, you can morph into any form you need. You can adapt. You are flexible. You are able to move as required. You are intuitive and spontaneous. Many people know this place of neter, this place of possibilities, as the zone. When you are living in the zone, in that place of perfection, when you're really into something, you've put your heart into something, and you disappear, you zero out, you vanish, and all that's there is being in that moment. When you're doing something with a sport, you're playing your tennis match, or you're playing your basketball game, and you get lost in the point, and you do something miraculous. You jump for feet upon feet. You hit an angle across the court that seems humanly impossible. You are with neter. You are with the Creator. You are androgynous in that moment. And because you dropped your ego, you dropped your box of who you think you are limited, in a limited sense, you've opened to the androgynous possibilities. So to be divine in the gay shaman system of the Golden Beetle is not difficult. All it requires is for you to live in the possibilities of your life. Think of one thing in your life challenging you, limiting you, your finances, your lack of relationships that are meaningful, your health, your stability, your family bonds, whatever they may be. And right here, right now, listening to this video, just think of what's possible here. What's possible with my finances? What's possible with my health? What's possible with my love life? And just sit there in that possibility. And there you will find Neter. There you will find the divine. You will receive answers and intuition. You will receive guidance and inspiration. This is the key to the gay shaman's power. When we see someone who is sick or ailing, we do not claim the sickness. We say, we claim the possibility of the health. We claim the possibility of this person being healed right here, right now, in this spot, in time and space. Blooming and greening in vitality and well-being right now. And we speak to that possibility. In other words, we speak to the divine, what some call God. So, it's important you learn that by being androgynous, you become unbound. You see, the drag queens tell us this message. They are the avatars of this message to the world. And they do it with great risk to themselves, physically and financially. It's a hard life for our drag queen sisters. But I thank you for being courageous, being the warriors of our tribe, being at the forefront of all of our evolution as a group. And now I want to make sure the world recognizes what you're really doing, the depth of your spirituality, the depth of your enlightenment. And we can all learn something from the message of the drag queens. You see, when a drag queen is getting dressed, they go in front of a mirror and they just stare for a minute. They zone out. They zero out. That zeroing out is entering the zone. And what they're doing is engaging the possibilities of what to create. What look, what style, what character. Actors do this. Many people who are creative go into this state called Neter, Hapiur, the zone, the zero, the androgen. And in that blanked out moment, they come out with an army of intuition, ideas, creativity. Like the creator, they become creative. And so, this is the key to all power. This is the key to all success and victory over life. What is possible, not what is. So they come out of that state, and they put on whatever wig they want to, and they work it out, and they serve it for days. They work the runway. And this is what we all must learn to do in our lives. With the thing you found when I asked you, what's on your mind? What is a challenge you're going through? And you began to engage the question, what is possible here? You zoned out for a hot second. And during that second, you weren't there. All that was there was space, silent, empty space, the stillness within. And as you engage that Neter energy, the zone, you will get more and more creative responses, responses far outside of your box, outside of your habits, that excel your wildest dreams. So be a drag queen, be androgynous, be one who lives in what is possible. And then you'll find any wig is yours, any pumps are yours, any dress is yours. And the drag queen also knows, at the end of the show, the end of the performance, it all comes off. And I go back to being a new possibility tomorrow, at tomorrow's show. Every morning of our lives, this happens. We have a new possibility of a new day. The possibility of creating ourselves in different ways, of seeing our job in different ways, and our friends and our families, and our work. Live in the possibilities. Aneterok, Neter, which means all hail Neter. And this Neter, this androgynous state of neutrality, is the source of peace. Because tension means there are opposing forces. That cannot be neutral. That's very sided. If they're opposing forces, they must be one against the other. In this corner, so-and-so, that corner, so-and-so. That is not neutral. When you are neutral, you are objective. You become humanitarian. You listen. And you let people speak. And you hear the depth of what they're trying to tell you. And from that open neutrality, you find a fair, just, win-win response. By going into the space, the nothing, the silence, the stillness within you, that's where all the juice is. That's where all the fun is, when you get lost in the moment. So how do you go into this place on command? Many will say meditate for hours, do yoga for hours, or all kinds of deeds. And I've studied all of these things, and I found they work sometimes and sometimes they don't. And oftentimes my students don't do them. So I went into the zone, and I asked the nothing, guide me, give me the insight, the words, to share with the public, how to see you, O Neter, how to live in the possibilities of their lives, and not the limits and the past of their lives. And the answer came so simple. The answer came, tell the people to pour their hearts into whatever they're doing. If you pour your heart into the moment you are in, let's say you're drying your dishes in your kitchen, and you just decided to play with the possibility of drying that with heart, of pouring your full attention, your one-pointedness, your one mind focus into that act, and just being that which dries the dish. That moment will become alive in a way that you couldn't imagine. If you're talking to your mate, pour your heart into the talking. Pour your heart into the listening. Just really get into it. And when you get into something, there you are, and there you aren't. You transcend this place and you go into the zone. You go into Neter, you go into being androgynous. Do things with heart. Do things like you mean it. Find meaning in your life. Meaning puts you in the zone. Because if you're talking to someone who's meaningful to you, time disappears, infinity enters, and possibilities bloom like lotuses. So the answer is pour your heart into every moment, because you will never have that moment again. You will never have it again. So embrace it, discover it, savor it, chew it, feel it, and do things in your life that have meaning. And if you're doing things that don't have meaning right now, find the meaning in it. And by doing that, you open a possibility, a space of a new freedom, a new potential. And there you are, Neter. And there you are, androgynous. And you will find a creativity that will blow your mind. So get lost in the moment. Get lost in the meaning of things. And do things with heart. This, as a gay shaman, I have found is the only sure way to the divine. Long live Neter, the great androgynous one. Long live the drag queens that remind us of the creative potential of living in the possibility. Long live the golden beetle of ancient Egypt, the black gay shamanism system for all gay shamans around the world. Dwauend Hotepu.